Yo, what is good, YouTube, and welcome back to the JC2K video. In today's video, we're going to be re-ranking the top 10 best small forwards here in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM. After this weekend's All-Star drop, I decided to re-rank each position, and last week I had done point guards through small forwards, so we re-ranked point guards, we re-ranked shooting guards, and now we are re-ranking small forwards because these lists have changed a good amount with this All-Star drop. But before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, help me push towards the 20,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day, and I would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. I'm trying to hit 20K by the end of the month of February. I think it's very possible. Without further ado, let's hop right into it. I will say the small forward position is unbelievably deep, legitimately maybe the deepest position in the game. That's not always super uncommon for the small forward position, but there are a ton of great cards, starting with this Paulo Banchero at number 10. This is a 6'10" half limitless wing who can shoot at a crazy high level, has half anchor and half clamps, in addition to post lockdown, rebound chaser, pogo stick. He is a super elite athlete, and he's got half speed booster. This card is incredible, and I have him at number 10. That is how good the small forward position is. The only reason I don't have him higher is, number one, I don't think his shot creation is very good. I don't like his SIGs very much. And number two, defensively, as good as he is, he's not an elite level perimeter lock the way that a lot of these other small forwards are. And to me, that's kind of one of the most important things at the small forward position. Also, release is certainly good, but it's nothing next level either. So I think he's a good card. I do think there's a ton, like I said, of great small forwards, though. So hard to put him higher than number 10. Number 9 is Peja. I understand Peja's not quite as complete as Paulo, definitely not as athletic as Paulo, but I think he's got a better release. I think he's a better all-around shooter. Defensively, also has half anchor, challenger, clamps, glove, off-ball, pest, 90 plus across the board defensively. I think he's honestly very similar to Paulo. I think he's a little better defensively and a little better as a shooter. And to me, that type of skill set is a little more valuable. So for me, I put him at number 9 versus Paulo at number 10. Number 8, going to be Paul George. 3-and-D, glue guy, monster. That is what you want at the small forward position, and Paul George literally will give you exactly that. He is obviously great at shooting guard as well, but he's great at small forward, can create his own shot at a pretty high level, but everything else is really where he shines. Release is solid, incredible slasher, capable playmaker, like I said, and then defensively versatile and elite, half challenger, anchor, clamps, glove, interceptor, off-ball pass, post, lockdown. Defensively, very good. Fast, great shooter, great dunker, really complete, can do everything at a high level. Again, like I said, there's just so much depth at the small forward position. I got to put some of these guys lower. So for a guy like Paul George, number 7 feels fair. Number 6 on Kawhi. Literally, I just think Kawhi is a little better than Paul George defensively. He has a movable enforcer. Paul George does not. Their releases are pretty similar. Offensively, I think movement-wise, they're relatively similar. As a whole, their cards are relatively similar. So I would say Kawhi and Paul George are very similar cards. To me, Kawhi having that having that immovable enforcer badge that PG doesn't have is one of the small differentiators that I think is enough to give him a very slight edge over PG at the small forward position. Number 6 is going to be, I think, Adam Morrison. The thing about this Adam Morrison card is his shot creation is at a level that almost no small forward in the game is at, and that kind of transforms him as a card, even though stat and badge-wise, while he is very good, he is not quite as good as some of these other small forwards, even that are lower on than him on this list. Now, he's still a great shooter, insane shooting badges, finishing badges are elite, playmaking is very good, and defensively, he is also very solid. Now, certainly needs some badges added and upgraded, but he was one of the first cards that can get every badge upgraded. He is really good, and his animations are elite outside of his upper on his release. That Jerry West upper sucks, and it does kind of hurt his release in addition to his fade. At the same time, his movement is nearly unmatched at the small forward position, and he is just a top-tier option movement-wise. It really gives you an extra element on the offensive end of the court. To me, it's enough to put him in the top 6. Number 5, Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum has one huge flaw, which is his fade. His fade is awful, and then everything else about the card, honestly, is very solid. Now, I don't love his movement as a whole either, but I will say he has one of the best releases on this list. On quick, his own jumper is just cash money. Hot spots from everywhere, insanely complete stats and badges. Obviously, he's an opal, so that's not a huge surprise, but he is a really, really dang good card. This Jason Tatum card is very good at the small forward position. He does a ton of things well, and even with a bad fade, and I don't like the pro escape either, like pretty mediocre SIGs, he certainly is a top-tier option. I think top 5 is a very fair spot to put him. At number 4, I'd go KD. I think KD, despite the release not being extraordinary, even on quick, at 6'10", the versatility that this card has to literally do everything and pretty much have close to every single important Hall of Fame badge between precision dunker, posterizer, agent 3, blinders, catch, corner, dead-eye, guard up, limitless range, spot finder, blow by, handles for days, speed booster, hyperdrive, anchor, clamps, glove, interceptor, off-ball pass, post, lockdown. Like, he is one of the most complete cards in the game, both stat and badge-wise. 96 speed at 6'10" with a 98 3-ball, 95 driving dunk. His fade, if you're using KD, you got to learn the fade, because his fade can be one of the most overpowered moves in the game if you know how to time it properly. The release on quick is certainly improved. It certainly, in my opinion, could still be better, but I think the release being mediocre-ish, even on quick, and his SIGs not being extraordinary would really be my main complaints, and for that reason, he's only number 4 instead of being higher, like 2 or even challenging for number 1, but I think number 4 for KD is still a very fair spot. That's where we're going to put him in today's video. Number 3 is going to be Scottie Pippen. This Scottie Pippen card is just exactly what you want out of a small forward. He is an elite defender, super versatile, super good size, athletic, incredible shooter with a great release and great playmaker. He has one of the best releases on this list, and he's one of the best defensive cards in this list as well, but also has Pro 2 fade and legitimately good shot creation ability off of his between the legs burst especially, and his same side burst. Like, he gives you he's just a better Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, basically is what he is. I think he moves better than them, he's got better fades than them, and his size a little bit better than them, at least arguably as well, and then release is definitely better. He's just a better version of those guys, and I am truly so high on that card that I still think he's a top 3 small forward in the game. Number 2, Michael Beasley. This Beasley card is nasty at the small forward position still. 6'9", 7 foot wingspan, 94 speed, 95 3 ball, inside ability, 95 driving dunk, defensively phenomenal. He's just a really good all around card. Amazing shooter and an amazing playmaker. Defensively, he's not quite as much of a lock, even with every badge upgradable. Not quite as much of a lock as most of the other guys on this list, but he has by far the best release of anybody on this list. Movement, I will admit, is not extraordinary. It's not bad, but it's not insane. But he has an unbelievable release. And that combined with this level of offensive capability as a playmaker, shooter, and slasher, and the defensive versatility that he still does have, in my opinion, puts him number 2. Number 1, though, is a no-brainer. LeBron James is the best small forward in the game. Obviously, these opals, LeBron, KD, Tatum, only pullable. Terrible content. We've talked about that all weekend. It sucks. But he's the best small forward in the game. He is. I mean, without a shadow of a doubt. Incredibly complete badge-wise, has pretty close to every single super important badge in the game on Hall of Fame. His stats are right up there with the best stats on any card in my team. Not only that, he's 6'9", 7 foot wingspan, hotspots from everywhere. And he's got his own release on very quick. They changed his fade to arguably one of the best fades in the game. Changed his dribble style, which I don't think was super necessary, but we'll take Kobe dribble style. Not bad. Trey escape, one of the best moves in the game now he has. He also has an elite behind the back. Well, not incredible, but very good behind the back. And John Wall's drag back. Overall, elite level, incredible SIGs. He is one of the best shot creators in the game, one of the best 300s in the game, one of the best slashers in the game, one of the best defenders in the game, one of the best cards in the game. The best small forward in my team, King James, LeBron. And this is my top 10 small forwards list for right now in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM. I'd love to hear y'all's thoughts on this list, so feel free to leave a comment down below. And if you did enjoy the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.